That's a good fish, man. Guys, I throw them in this basket right here. I'll show you this basket a little bit later. I throw them in there, so if you got one that's bleeding or something, they won't go back in and split the bed. And when we get ready to go, we're not gonna eat these things, so we're gonna throw some back in there. All right, I'm gonna show you how to build one of these little baskets we threw those fish in. I use them for crappies and for brim or anything that's schooled up in big schools. And it's just a regular closed basket, cheap as you can buy. If you can find one that's got a little bit smaller hole in the side, I think the little square ones work a little bit better, but this is what I actually ended up with. And I just take and drill 1/2-inch holes around the bottom edge of it, and if you'll drill them in this little trough right here instead of on this flat, they'll last a lot longer. But to this, we're gonna take a piece of pool noodle and we're gonna take this thing and wrap it around. You're just looking for something similar to this right here. And one of the things that I had to learn was that you're not trying to put this pool noodle all the way at the top up here. If you do that, your fish will jump out of the basket of all things. And to put this thing on here, I just picked this piece of pool noodle up out the lake, as you can see. But to put this on here, I take a wire tie, run it around like so. And I just tighten this thing down a little bit. You don't have to pull it down really tight. I just snug it up like that. And if you think about it, put your little lock on top. So if you happen to have a fish run by it, won't catch your line as bad. But we just follow this around. We own this rib right here. So we're just gonna go around. We'll take a tie again, stick it through the hole, pull it up. Don't have to crush it, just tighten it up, and we're just gonna rinse and repeat till we get around to the other side. And that's how we're running this thing right here. We just push it up there and pull it down. And I push these little tips on up here a little closer to the basket. This will be our last one. We're continuing on this line. So we're just gonna stick it through there, pull it back up through here, fix it up, and you can cut this with whatever you want. I got a little pair of end cutters right here that's about 110 degrees from laying in this hot sun out here. It's in the 90s out here today. We're just gonna cut them off. And you can see we have one end with the noodle closed, one end with the noodle open. You want to tie your rope on the end that's open. And I just take this thing and pop it through here and just give it a tie. Like I say, this is simple right here. The only way to make it hard is to overthink it and tie this thing on. That way, if when you go to pick up on your basket, the back will float up. If you tie it on that end, this end will sink and your fish will get out of it. If you want to keep a few of them, but that's our setup right here. It's as simple as that to give you enough water down for it to keep your fish in, and a little free space over the top to keep them from going out. And I got, I don't know, 5-6 feet. I think this is a piece of jump rope. There you go, guys. When you get done fishing, when you get ready to leave the spot, you can just take this thing and dump it out and put your fish back in. All right, I'm gonna put some of the better ones out. We'll throw them in here. Keep a count on them. We're gonna dump these back in. There you go, guys. When you get ready to leave the spot, you can just take this thing and dump it out and put your fish back in. Thanks for joining me.